Hello again, it's Cornelio with Maze Mechanical. Today's video is going to be a short one about how to stay organized as a one man show. So, I've been refining my process for many years, and I'm fortunate enough now to have expanded enough to have a few vans and some employees. But these processes that I've been using, they actually apply, at least at the scale that we're at now, to each van. I treat them as an individual sort of business, but I want to run down my daily routine when I was by myself and how I started to make sense of everything and gave myself more time back. Um, I created this simple philosophy for myself when I started to feel overwhelmed. I repeated this mantra, so to speak, where, I just had always had a million different things to do. And I used to tell myself, Corn, just do what's in front of you. Just complete the task at hand. You have 100 tests that you lined up for yourself, and you got to just start with what's in front of you. Do what's in front of you, and complete that to the best of your abilities, and then move on to the next one. And wouldn't you know it, you start knocking stuff out, and pretty soon that scale tips when you have all of this to do and you're only right here, but you start to flip that scale, and by the end of the day you actually have quite the handle on it. And then you streamline that process, and then you do something that I learned from uh, the many retail jobs that I had back in my younger years. um, they used to have this plaque in the warehouse called process flow, right? And that always stuck with me because I liked the way that sounded. But when you consider your process flow from start to finish, right? So I have a phone number, and I'm looking for clients, and a client reaches out to me. No matter what time of day or no matter where you're at, you should have a process in place to engage the client, collect their data, and build a customer profile on your phone while you're talking. Put them on speaker. Maybe use one of the apps like Service Titan, House Call Pro, even QuickBooks. Just build a profile, put some notes in what they want, uh, and set a follow up time right then and there. That might be a 15, 20-minute conversation, which leads to a really great lead. You're well informed, you understand their needs, you have their address, their email, everything, and you can set a reminder to follow up. So that's the beginning of the process of the engagement of your client. And then you hopefully set an appointment, um, have a wonderful comfort advisor appointment set, and you are actually able to get set up to do an install, right? You won the business. So now what do you need to do? You understand. We'll talk about payment, and we'll dive into the marketing and sales stuff later that I use that have worked for me. But when you think about, okay, now you got to go get the equipment, you got to set it up, you got to knock out the install, do the paperwork, complete the contract, collect the payment, all of those fun things. But in all of that, the finer details of that process flow, right? It goes back to what I was saying again. It's just to do what's in front of you, stay organized, and you will give yourself a ton of time back. So what I figured out was that the more organized I was down to every pocket, every zipper in every bag, I knew what was in it, and I put everything back where it was when I was using it. Especially when I was by myself, it's easy enough to remember where you put things. But when you are fortunate enough to hire a helper, if you coach them the same way, that everything goes back where it goes, and we all know this as leads and techs and installers, that just put the stuff back where you got it to make it easier for the next time, right? And it also helps you to keep inventory. When you're looking at stuff like, now I'm running low on red wire nuts. Now I got to grab some more when I go to Home Depot, and I put that right into the app on my phone when I think about it, or I need to put it in my cart on in Amazon right when I think about it. And then at the end of the day, I can just hit send and or hit buy now, and get all that stuff sent to me. But when you think about it, all your tools are going back in the same spot. Um, you're keeping inventory while you're doing that. You're following. You're cleaning up as you go. You finish what's in front of you. Like say you take everything out, stop, put everything outside, clean up the area, put all those tools away that you used to dismantle the plenum and the furnace, and take your recovery machine, put it back, and then treat it like, okay, now it's the next phase. Everything's clean already, and I'm to the next phase, right? So I go to the next phase, install everything, get my sheet metal tools out, and then I put that all away when I'm done. And then get my electrical bag, or my service bag, like I call it, so I can hook up the electrical, the low voltage, all that stuff. And I have the outside running. And it's a very simple process where you take little mini sections, you segment a job into little, like, digestible pieces, right? Eat the elephant, right? You How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time, right? So the idea is that you just do what's in front of you, and you understand your process flow, and you start to get really good at understanding and anticipating what your needs are and how much of what you're going to be using, so that when you're at the measure call where you're measuring the unit, deciding what you need, you understand what your inventory levels are at, and then you understand how long it's going to take you, and you refine that down to where you can budget your time and say, hey, I see this particular installation, one man show. um, it's going to take me 8 hours, and you know in your heart that it's going to take you 8 hours, and you can budget for that, and you can price accordingly however you need to. If it's an install, you may have a flat rate system, but the key here is that the success that I've found, and I'm still learning, of course, and I've had some misses along the way, but refining your process, doing what's in front of you, developing a process flow to where you have steps every day. Like, if you wake up, you drink your coffee, that's part of your process flow. You're up at 6 o'clock or 6:30 or whenever you wake up, and you know your process flow down to the minute, so that at the end of the day, you've given yourself the gift of free time to where you're done, job is done, you went through trash, picked up the stuff for the next day possibly, you go home, maybe you just hit send on the paperwork, do the warranty registration, and hey, check it out, it's maybe 6:30, you're ready to hang out with your family or play some video games, right? So I can't overemphasize, just break it down into small digestible pieces, analyze what's working and what's not working, and reanalyze, and rethink your process flow as you need to get it down to a science. And then once you have it down to a science, don't overthink it. Just when you become good at it, your efficiency, a measure of if you're good at something is efficiency, as well as, you know, aptitude and stuff like that. But that efficiency is a big part of it. But that's it. As a one man show, I learned how to do everything myself and safely, and made it so that I can teach that process to my techs. So now I've effectively, we're up to 3 vans now, and I have 3 vans that I believe run exactly the same way that I have. Right. So I hope that helps. If you want me to elaborate further, please just shoot me an email, and maybe even share some pictures of my van setup. Just let me know. Thank you.